Welcome to Chocolate Truths and Worship by Iskaline Sky. It's been such a long time. I was just counting and I remember the last video I posted should have been 2021, which makes it like 3 years. And honestly, throughout those years, there's just been that ache in my heart of you need to be doing this, you should be doing this. But, well, there's been so much going on in my life, so much distraction, so much realignment, so much self-discovery, self-growth. I feel like there's just so much that has changed in my life. And I may be feeling like I've taken too long to come back, but I want to believe that this was the time God had planned for me to come back. And oh God, I'm already getting so emotional. And I'm slightly off my guard because the fact that has now just pushed me completely to actually record this is not the happiest situation. It is not the, oh jolly, yeah, I'm happy to be back. My heart is very heavy as I do this. And it goes, it's because I'm tired. It's because I'm tired. And to some extent, I feel like I've taken so many things for granted. I feel like I lost my path at a point. God, I'm just rambling. I don't know. Okay, we're going to get through this. So, as most people who know me, and one of my videos, oh God, I still use my hands a lot while talking. One of my past videos, I talked about being diagnosed with lupus. I think at the age of 13, 14, nowadays I get confused which year was it. I have to go back to look at my secondary and see, okay, so this happened, but yeah, right about there. And I shared immensely how my journey has been with lupus and how God has been so kind to me. But looking at my life right now, I feel like I took the kindness of God for granted. I feel like there's so many lupus patients out there who can't do so much. But God has been very good to me. And He has allowed me to live almost a normal life. Almost, because I still go through whatever the lupus patients do go through. But I feel like there's been an overwhelming grace surrounding me. I was actually looking at my Instagram name and it is the girl full of grace, and it hit me. I've actually been dwelling under the grace of God. It's His grace that has held me this far. That right now, when I look at what I'm going through, I myself, I cannot understand. Because it doesn't make sense, honestly. It doesn't make sense. I can't remember the last time I was sleeping in a hospital bed until earlier on this year. And this took me by so much surprise. Because I never saw it happening. I was okay. Oh yeah, I live with lupus. Yeah, I take my medications daily for the last, let's say, 12 to 14 years daily. And it's a thing, like, I'm so used to it. I miss how God is taking care of me in the middle of all that. And yeah, just, there were events that led to me going to hospital. I will just share a bit of what is going on. I'm not going to overburden you because myself, I am really overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. And I feel like I'm holding on to this, like, so much grace. Like, I'm like, if God let me go right now, I would fall so bad. Because my mind is all over, my body is all over. Okay, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I did not plan to come here and get very emotional. Honestly, I did not. And that's the thing. I've gotten so used to being strong. I've gotten so used to putting up a face of being okay. That even when I'm not okay, it's so easy for me to say, oh yeah, I'm okay. I'm doing fine. So, some weeks ago, I started bleeding, like involuntarily. You can imagine where, anywhere you think you can bleed from, I was bleeding. And I got scared. I was like, okay, I've not cut myself or anything. So I did some tests. Nothing was revealing anything. But when they did my blood counts, they found that my platelet levels were very low, which meant my blood was not, you know what platelets do? They help with the clotting and whatnot. So that was not happening the way it should. And this really was an alarm to my doctor, and he was like, oh, you need to go to hospital immediately just in case you start bleeding in the brain. So I was like, I've survived with those platelets. Let me tell you, your platelets should be the minimum of 150 and the maximum of 300. At least that's knowledge now I have. But by the time I was being asked to go to hospital, they were at 24. So this is not like 1, 2, 3, 4 until 24. This is like 24 times 10 power 3. So like 24,000 cubed, I think, math, God. So this was on a Friday. So I was like, I'll go to hospital on Sunday or Monday. That is me, always just faithing things out. So did my thing on Sunday, led worship. In the evening, I was like, okay. I was now starting to get scared because, you know, it remained in my head, okay, you might have a bleed in the brain, you might have a bleed in the brain, you might have a bleed in the brain. It kept on running and running and running and running and running in my head so much. So I was like, well, I have to go just in case. I value life. I value my life. Yeah. So I went, and before I was admitted, they did another check. So when they checked, they were now at 5. So I'm at 5, but they're supposed to be 150. It caused so much alarm, and I was admitted to the HDU for observation just in case I start bleeding and all that. But I think why I'm even calling this video a walking miracle is because the doctors are trying to figure out how to help, but they are not able to. At this point, I don't want to say they don't know what they're doing. They're doing what they can do. There are so many solutions, but they are trying to look for a solution that would help me in the long run. And yeah, that is where we are at right now. I'm not mentioning a lot. There's so much that is happening in my body, so much pain and whatnot, but not bad. I feel like I've lived with pain. I'm in pain every day. Like, I'm in pain every day. So I can easily be like, oh, we'll take painkillers and it should be fine. That's why I'm like, the miracle for me is I'm still functioning okay with a number of places that are extremely low. That I keep on doing tests, and everywhere I go, they are alarmed. When I did a test at Nairobi Hospital, they even wanted me to remain in hospital because they were like, we cannot leave you go because of the number. That time the platelets were at 2. Whew, 2. I know, they were at 2. They're supposed to be at 50 and they're at 2. But then something in me is just like, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be fine. So when I was told they were at 2, that was the day it hit me so bad. As much as I refused to be admitted that day it hit me hard. It really hit me hard. I was so scared. I was worried. That same weekend, I was supposed to be going on a church retreat with some friends, choir, and it was just like, should I go? What if I go so far from Nairobi? Then I cause havoc where people are. People have gone for a retreat, then I'm there seeking attention because I'm not okay, because, oh my God, this has happened, now I'm bleeding. My mind was all over. But something in me was just like, you go, God will take care of you. And I'm glad I went, because that retreat has changed my life. There's something we do in the retreat called silent time. And that was a turning point for me. Let me just say the events in the last 3 weeks have done so much for me. As a Christian, as a human being, the last events have broken me in so many ways, have fixed me in so many ways, have healed me in so many ways. And I don't think I'll be okay moving on, ignoring what is going on in my life right now and acting like it is normal and taking for granted the circumstances surrounding my life. Because I'm really reminded of God that when He wants your attention, He will push you to the core, where you will look nowhere else but look for Him, where you will search for nothing else but search for Him. So on Thursday, after finding out my platelets are 2, and then I'm anxious, and yeah, as always, do not be anxious, but with everything, with prayer, supplication, what we do to the Lord, He'll give you peace that surpasses all these things were running in my head, but nothing was calming me down. Then I met someone who is very dear to me. She is such a light in my life. And the first thing she told me was that God is trying to remind you that up until now, you have made it this far because He is the one who has been ordering your steps. He's trying to remind you that you have to remain in His will. Lean not on your own understanding. And these are truths that I know, but it's just how she presented them to me. And what was so much in alignment was I was already thinking about these things. Like, God, are you shaking me for something? Is there something you want from me? And in that moment, it hit me that whatever I'm battling might actually be more spiritual than physical. Because in the physical, it has caused havoc that most people don't understand. Because even while in hospital, they did a good percentage of what they should do for me to get my platelets numbers high. But those platelets are the stubbornest things ever. They're just me. I'm very stubborn, so I would have stubborn platelets. I would. They're in my body. Why should they be stubborn? Anyway, but she said something that hit me hard. That even right now, I sit down and I think about it and I just shudder. And that is, to live is Christ and to die is gain. And she told me, if you were to die today, do you think you would meet Jesus? Do you think He would welcome you with open arms? And she saw me a bit shriek a bit, and she was like, I'm praying it doesn't end in that tragic place. But if it were to happen, do you think you would meet Jesus? And then she also asked me, why do you want to actually be alive? And in this world where people hurt people, people break people, there's so much pain, there's so much malice, there's so much evil. Why don't we look forward to meeting with Christ? Coming from her, it just changed my outlook. And for once I looked and I was like, indeed, we take so much for granted. We think every day is promised. We think every minute is promised, every hour. That we live in a space whereby we are not careful of what we say, what we do, what we think, how we act. And I'm currently in a space whereby all I want is to know what God wants for me in this season. I'm going through so much pain. I'm going through so much anxiety. I can hold a smile. I can laugh. And I think I can do all those things because His grace is still sufficient in my life. I never want to look back and feel like I missed the mark when the Lord shook me so hard to hear Him, to listen and to do what He wanted me to do. Yeah, it has taken me a minute to come back. But here I am. I believe I'm a walking miracle. I believe everything that is happening in my life right now is to glorify God. That though I may be in so much discomfort, that though I may be worried a better part of my life, I am trusting that it is all going to work out for my God. I am trusting that my testimony today will change someone's life. My testimony today will draw someone closer to God. Because honestly, I don't know what it means for me going forward. I honestly don't have any plan. I'm just trusting God that He will work it out. He will work it out. But what is more important to me right now than anything is that I stay in His will. Is that it gives me the strength, it gives me the direction, it gives me the power to do what is right, to lead a life that brings glory and honor to His name. Because I know I have not been doing that. And I'm not doing this so that He can heal me. I know if God wanted to heal me, He would have done it 12 years ago. And I know if it is in His plan to heal me and take away all this pain, He will take it. But for now, I knew I was going to cry this bad. For now, I will just trust Him. I believe that He's working all things for my good. Because He is. Thank you for indulging me. Pray for me, pray for my health. I'll be praying for all of you that you may get to encounter God like I have, and be able to lead a life that brings glory and honor to his name. Thank you, and may God bless you. Bye.